So we talked about obviously coming back and talking about the strengths and overdrive
Yes.
in particular. And if you remember, strengths and overdrive are when your strengths are used too much or in the wrong way, wrong time. So they're type of performance risk that gets in the way of good leadership, effective performance. Yeah. Remember that? Talked
I
about
do,
that?
yeah. My
Okay,
understanding is
great.
effectively, exactly that. Taking a strength that should usually be one of your assets and suddenly it becomes something that's impacting on all the other good things you do.
Absolutely. So when you looked through your profile, which I asked you to do prior to the session, did anything stand out for you as Joe, as an overdone strength?
Yes,
Yeah.
results focus for me.
Okay.
Yeah, when I looked at them, I mean, to some degree, maybe, all of them could tip over from time to time, but I think that results focus I can clearly see is maybe something where, I'm so in it that it ends up impacting on what otherwise could be good work.
Okay, so let's just stop there, because what I want to do is I want to sort of introduce a card to you. It's actually out there on the table. I put it out earlier. So if you just grab that and read out the last statement on the card, because it'll just help us to make sure that kind of we understand what we mean by results focus and overdrive.
Okay, so strength and overdrive. In your drive for results, you may miss important aspects of task or project success, e.g. the opportunity to reflect and learn, ensuring that people are engaged and are recognised for their efforts. Yeah, sounds about right.
Tell me more about that.
I'm not. I've never been particularly big on giving giving feedback when things have done well. I suppose I'm more inclined to drive on.
Okay.
I don't usually either spend time focusing on reflecting with people on how we can learn from mistakes or things that perhaps haven't gone as well as they might have. There's been so much, as performance has dropped, as sales have struggled, as the whole industry's gotten tougher anyway in the last sort of 6 months and the climate shifted, my focus entirely has been on new initiatives and results, and my targets that I'm getting hammered on
As
from
the
Kenny.
pressure's been building for
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
As the pressure's built, my results focus only gets worse, I suppose.
Okay. And what are the implications of that, do you think, for not just yourself? Let's explore the implications for yourself first and then the team.
Well, I mean, the implication for me and the team is that I end up feeling that there's sort of a gap widening between us, totally. I feel like where I was previously much more confident within the team meetings and with my sort of general leadership of the team that they were on board and we were going in the right direction, and that I was a figure that kind of, I suppose, commanded their respect and absolutely had their understanding. I now feel like it often feels like there's a sort of a block between us. We don't seem like we're on the same page. I get very frustrated with them. I think they can end up feeling stressed and frustrated because they don't seem to understand what I want.
So the stress and frustration in the team.
Stress, frustration, and ultimately I suppose we're getting even further from our goals, because if there's a lack of clarity from me about what's expected or how they're going to achieve it, then how are they supposed to get there?
So it undermines performance and motivation. I think so. I think what you're saying there.
Yeah, that's the worrying thing.
Yeah, okay. And when we look at some of your other strengths, do you think there's any other strengths that are amplifying that results focus?
Leading.
How's leading amplifying?
Well, I suppose the irony is that while I think that what we're talking about here sounds to me like not great leadership, because I've got my head down and I'm just sort of ploughing on. But in my mind, what I'm trying to do is trying to bring them with me, trying to get them focused. But I can see that I might be having my head down and just kind of isolating people. Right. And to that degree, probably decisiveness as well.
It's a more push style of leadership, more directive.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of charging on rather than taking people with me.
Okay.
And I think that's also decisiveness as well.
Okay, interesting. So how might you change your leadership style then and approach to lessen the overdrive impact?
I think I could try and be more collaborative.
Okay.
I could trying to involve the team more in trying to get their understanding of what's gone on, what we need to do. I mean, we used to spend a lot of time talking about customer feedback and results that the team had seen, and that's kind of gone out the window now as we focus on new initiatives to kickstart things.
Okay.
So I could be, I could spend a lot more time in meetings planning, handing time over to people and saying, listen, what have you seen? What have you seen? What do you think we should be doing? Okay. Maybe I should be speaking less and listening more.
So listening more and asking more questions by the sounds of it, is what you were saying.
I think so.
Okay.
You're trying to get their insight.
Involving people.
Exactly.
Getting their perspective, getting their view, their ideas. Okay. And we've talked about the importance of that, haven't we, in terms of strengths and kind of, unlocking people's strengths and ideas and views. Okay. So how would you like to take that forward then in terms of further reflection or next steps?
Well, I'd like to, I suppose I need to, looking at the 7 again, same as I was saying earlier, I'd like to be using my strategic mindedness again,
Okay.
I used to love strategizing, and it's something that it's felt like there's been no time for recently, but maybe if I could be a bit more forward thinking and involving others in that, I should be, so the team meetings, allocating time for planning and for reflecting on results and customer data and what's coming back to us, and MI. Maybe I could use my common sense to stop myself jumping straight onto results, take a step back, bite my tongue.
And is there anyone who could help you, you think, slow down a little bit and spend more time on the planning and spend more time, involving others and getting their input?
Well, as I mentioned, Gwen had given me feedback that members of the team, some of the members of the team have felt like their voices aren't being heard. Okay. So, she brought that to me, and she was honest, she was clear, and she is great on spotting HR stuff. So maybe she could be my eyes and ears on that, alongside Sally, who, as I said before, always gives me great feedback.
Okay. So do you want to go and speak to Gwen about that, maybe?
Could be a good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Speak to her and Sally. Yeah.
Okay, so Joe, before we meet in a couple of weeks then, what would you like to kind of take away and do differently? If there's one thing you'd like to focus on, what would that be?
I think that what was just touched on. So spending more time trying to use my strategic mindedness to take a step back, bite my tongue, involve the team, get their insight, draw on customer data again, kind of change the pace of these meetings, shift the focus again to how they used to be. And I will use Gwen and Sally, I will ask them, to keep me on track with that if they can, help me out, let me know when I'm shifting. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a good idea.
I look forward to following up and just finding out how it's going.
Sounds good, I'll let you know when I see you in a fortnight.
Yeah. And don't forget to complete the learning journal we agreed on.
Will do, yeah.
Okay.
Lovely.
Excellent. Yeah, good
Cheers.
stuff.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.